All right, everyone. Biden has been handed a temporary setback on the road to griftdom with regards to his student loan debt bullshit. It is basically a vote-buying grift. The 8th Circuit Court, link in the description, archived, of course, has issued a stay on that debt relief, handouts, going through at this time, pending their decision after a lower court rejected to hear the case by numerous states against the Biden admin, claiming that they would be damaged by this materially, so they have standing. The federal court is now hearing arguments and deciding whether to take the case. So right now you have a temporary stay. The court is going to hear the plaintiffs and the defendants. Of course, the plaintiffs are 6 U.S. states, all Republican-led, I would point out, in fairness. And then the Biden admin is defending. They're saying, look, clearly we can forgive this loan debt. The states are attempting to seek standing under this premise. They're saying we have student loan debt servicing in our states in part. We're losing tax revenue if the federal government steps in and does this. Now, this is clearly a shifty argument. It's sleazy. You can't give our people back some of their own money because we'll lose tax money if you do that. But the problem is that when you're going before a court, you have to establish standing. You have to actually be aggrieved and be able to be a plaintiff. You can concoct whatever cockamamie case in your mind you want, but if you go before a court and they find that you're not aggrieved of anything in a civil suit or anything like that, they're going to toss it out of court, and then you'll probably end up paying for some court fees. They'll do this because you have to have standing. You have to actually be a plaintiff. This is the problem with challenging obviously unconstitutional laws in some cases. Courts repeatedly throw out cases by arbitrarily stating that there's no basis to challenge the case. Well, you don't have the authority, for example. They've upheld the NFA this way. They refuse to hear the case because whatever party, for whatever arbitrary cockamamie reason, can't take the case before their court because they don't have a standing to make the case in the first place. I do not know, nor will I make a prediction, on whether the 8th Circuit will accept and actually hold a full session for this. They're expediting the decision, so it's not going to take them long. Right now it's a temporary stay, though. I don't know whether that stay will end up ending. SCOTUS doesn't appear to want to touch this case, so it's being held at the federal court level at the moment. It could get appealed by whoever loses. It's not entirely sure what's going to happen. I think it was Coney Barrett, by the way, that bounced that case back down. And the lower court, of course, sided with the Biden admin, setting a de facto precedent of sorts. We'll see whether they actually go to a full court proceeding on this. Again, I have no prediction to give you. The problem is that, and the judge in the case, I think, is a Bush appointee, so that's like a 50-50. That's like a John Roberts sort of situation. Not exactly a MAGA Republican, but, not a Biden appointee or anything. We'll see which way the wind leans, probably, as those oral arguments are made, as the first paperwork is submitted to the court. The federal government is saying that this is preposterous. The states are saying it's preposterous for the federal government to do it. Now, I look at it and I say, you've taken out debt, you signed a promissory note, you promised to pay the debt back, you should pay it back. I think that it's unethical, for example, for some person in the working or middle class to have to pay more taxes in the form of inflation for someone else who got a degree in women's studies. I think it's unacceptable the way in which the metric is made. A person can make $100,000 a year, get $20,000 of debt forgiveness. A person who busts ass 50 hours a week just to scrape by, who didn't go to college, gets nothing. I look at the entire thing and I say it's reprehensible, it's deplorable, not to use a pun here, it's problematic, it's wrong. It's also not economically a good idea. It's not actually going to stimulate economic growth. It's a vote-buying scam. Biden carefully timed it so that these cases would happen before the midterms. And he did that for a reason, because he doesn't want to pass it at all anyway. He wanted to buy the votes of a bunch of young leftoids too stupid to realize what he was doing. Oh, Joe's giving me free money, yay! Yeah, you can be taxed on via forgiveness that most of you don't deserve, number one. The economy can't suffer, number two. We've already got plenty of fucking problems. It's not going to uplift your life. You'll move from ramen to Campbell's for a while. With Bidenomic inflation, what's that $20,000 and the amount that you save per month really going to do for you? It's not going to do that much. You're struggling to pay off $200 a month in extra expenses. You really think that person should or could take out a mortgage for a home? Elizabeth Warren seems to think so. The problem is that all of those more pragmatic or ethical or economic arguments don't create a standing before a court. The court doesn't give a shit. The court isn't there to decide, does this policy, is it good for the economy? That's not what the court has to consider. Is it ethical? Is it equitable? The court should not involve itself in this. It has to have someone who's actually aggrieved. The states are saying we're going to lose tax revenue. It's unfortunate that this is the methodology by which a stay had to be issued, because other cases by individuals, of course, they've fallen through. They've been thrown out. In the state cases, though, may proceed. I'm surprised that student loan debt servicers haven't weighed in on this more. It appears to be mainly a state function at this time. I think that they should toss out the student loan debt grift. It was self-admitted to, and I hope they submit this in evidence, that clip of Nancy Pelosi expressing openly. Now, this is the leader of the House majority. They're supposed to control the purse strings under the U.S. Constitution quite explicitly. Submit that clip of Pelosi acknowledging that Joe Biden, this was in 2021, did not have the authority to forgive student loan debt when queried about it. Leftoids were getting angry. They wanted their free money, and Pelosi said, I'm sorry, but we can't do it. The Republicans control the Senate, basically, because of the filibuster. So elect more Democrats. Maybe we'll do it later. It's a goddamn grift. That's why he waited until the 11th hour. He waits almost 2 fucking years to put it forward as an issue because he wanted to impact the midterm elections. Sort of like begging OPEC not to shut off the spigot and to keep producing more oil. Just for another month, guys. Just trust me. It has nothing to do with our electoral chances. By the way, looking at the new polling slews, I think things continue to move in a very fantastic direction, and it ain't for the Democratic Party. I'm wondering if it could be that there's a reason behind that. They don't seem to think so. They've pivoted to talking about abortion and Medicare again. The Democrats, as of yesterday, abandoned the economy as an issue. I think that's going to hit them hard. I think that that'll actually backfire. That's about all. Peace out.